we're selling something a little bit differently, and that is we want to recruit. We want to engage, build relationships. We want to develop, retain, and have success. We're not in the market of buying players, and unfortunately, right now, that's what some guys are looking for. They want to be bought.
Not for nothing, Coach, but it's starting to seem like it's the players that aren't buying you in your program. Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. Things are certainly breaking bad for Brian Kelly down on the Bayou with the decommitment of Dakorien Moore from his program late Thursday night. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment to shout out our partners at Hall of Fame College Football, Mint Mobile, where you can score the best deal in wireless, bar none, with no salesperson required and not sacrificing service speed or anything you're used to with your big wireless carrier, except, of course, the feeling of being financially violated each month when it comes time to pay your bill. You heard me correctly. By logging onto our partner website, trymintmobile.com/HOF. That's trymintmobile.com/HOF. You can ride the wave of the nation's largest 5G network and get unlimited talk, text, and data for the first 3 months at just $45. Folks, that is $15 a month. And if you're skeptical, just do what I did and test it out for 3 months before you make a final decision. That way you can compare Mint to your current wireless carrier for 3 months before making that long-term switch. Allow Mint Mobile to prove to you just how easy it is to save big money on your wireless service. And you don't have to sacrifice that comfort that big wireless has you brainwashed into believing you have. Folks, you're definitely going to help us by checking it out, but I promise you, you will help your pocketbook even more. Give it a try. Thank me later. Don't look now, folks, but it appears that on further review, it's actually elite college football recruits that aren't buying Brian Kelly and LSU, and not the other way around, as he made it sound like a couple of weeks ago after the Tigers missed out on elite transfer portal prospect Dominic Williams when he chose the Oklahoma Sooners instead of the Tigers, Texas, Missouri, or USC. That's right. Just over a week since we heard Brian Kelly say those infamous words that I played right at the start of this of LSU not being in the business of buying players, his number one commit, Dakorien Moore, 5-star plus wide receiver out of Duncanville, Texas, who's been committed to the Tigers for more than 9 months, jumped ship, decommitted late Thursday night, to the surprise of most everybody. He had been pledged to the Tigers since August 12th, and among those who were in his top 5 were Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon, all 3 of which have remained in heavy pursuit of Moore throughout his recruitment and have continued to get the 5'11", 175-pounder on campus to make visits to their schools. Now, again, Moore is the number 3 overall prospect of the 2025 recruiting class, but the top-ranked wideout of the 2025 cycle, according to the On3 industry ranking, which is a weighted average that utilizes all 4 major recruiting media companies. He's also the number 1 player in the state of Texas. Again, when he made the commitment last August, he seemed really firm on it because he said that that had been his dream school since he was a kid. On Thursday, he told Chad Simmons of On3, quote, "I really can't put it into words. I'm really just seeing what everybody else has got to offer. Of course, what LSU showed me got me to commit. So that's where I'm at, but I'm really just seeing the little things piece by piece, seeing what everybody else has got to show me." Now he's back on board as the most intriguing prospect in the cycle, according to On3. Look, this is that doesn't sound to me like a guy who has plans to go back to LSU. And the question, I guess, on everybody's mind is there an NIL issue on the Bayou? Could he really be serious? And I mean, is it not that they don't want to buy players, but are they in a bad position right now where they can't at LSU? It's not something you would expect, right? They were able to pay Ed Orgeron all that money, even though, he still owed well over, I think it was like $20 million when they fired him. They paid him everything on that. They offered $100 million to Kelly to become the head coach, leave Notre Dame, where he was the winningest coach all time. And now they just got done paying Bo Davis, making him the highest paid assistant coach in the country. And all of a sudden you're not able to hold on to recruits, or you're saying that you're not just going to buy them. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. As I said earlier on one of my shows last week, I don't understand why you would do that with Bo Davis and then not go and get the guys that you need from the portal, like Dominic Williams, and then saying that, he wanted to be bought and you didn't want to do that. That didn't make a lot of sense. Now we're talking about a guy who, 5-star plus guy, like I said, number 3 overall prospect. Seems like they would have locked him in for sure, whatever was going on. I don't know, man. It just from, as I said, what he said there, I've been wanting to play there since I was little, so you can't change my dream, is what he had said previously of LSU. But now I'm really just seeing what everybody else has got to offer. And I'm really just seeing the little things piece by piece, seeing what everybody else has got to show me. But don't count out Texas, and do not count out, because Texas was right there with them as well. And then you had Ohio State, where now they are going all in to try to win a national championship 1 year after their hated rivals at Michigan beat them for the 3rd year in a row and won the Natty in Jim Harbaugh's final season in Ann Arbor. Then you've got Nike money at Oregon, who can certainly afford whatever the number is that Dakorien Moore is wanting as well. It's also probably one of the more popular brands in the country, and now playing in the Big Ten. It's intriguing. I don't know. I would feel like if I was judging it and handicapping it, I'd probably tell you that I think it's probably Ohio State. They're definitely trying to go all in. Brian Hartline has been that guy that's getting all those 5-star guys year after year. Of course, he's, they certainly aren't bereft of talent there right now. But of course, following this year, they should have at least another couple of guys getting drafted. So it would be big for Ohio State. And again, they're certainly willing to cough up the cash. We'll kind of wait and see on how that goes. But again, if you're looking at a situation where, you still have an opportunity for Texas, you still have an opportunity for the Ducks. And I'm sure that LSU is going to continue recruiting him very hard because of the fact that he has said that that's been his dream school. But we're talking about a guy, well-rounded, 5'10", 175. He ran a sub 11 second 100-yard or 100-meter dash as a sophomore. Look, man, he's done it all, whether it be in the camp setting or on Friday nights. Obviously, Duncanville is coming off of back-to-back state championships at the 6A level in Texas. And, hey, make no mistake, these guys are the real deal. He's the real deal, obviously being rated as the number 1 wideout and the number 1 player in the entire state of Texas. That's something big. The other ratings could be a little bit different, but this is a big loss if you're Brian Kelly, particularly when he's talking about not paying players, and they are trying to, I mean, look, they're having to replace Malik Neighbors, right? I mean, two guys that went in the opening 2 rounds of the draft. Malik Neighbors, of course, went really early. But they do have, I mean, listen, it's LSU. They have a factory that it seems like that flips over these guys and brings them out there. We'll see what happens with Nussmeier, but Coach talks about it a lot the last few years particularly with Notre Dame, is that it always seems like Brian Kelly has some kind of an excuse. When he was at Notre Dame, it was, we have to shop in a different aisle than everybody else because our academic standards to get into school here. But Marcus Freeman is currently has the number 1 class in the country at Notre Dame. And he's been in the top 10 both of the other 2 cycles, or the other 3 cycles since he took over for Kelly in 2022. We'll kind of wait and see, guys. I got to tell you, it's one of those deals where you got to think there's something definitely not right. And was what he was saying about not being in the business of buying recruits? Is there some kind of a financial issue going on at LSU? I tend to doubt that for the most part, because as I said, they paid Bo Davis big money. They just fired their entire defensive staff and brought in the defensive coordinator and 2 of his top assistants out of Missouri. So they had to pay them some more money. And they've been heavy in the portal up until obviously this cycle. Look, I don't know exactly what all is going to happen here, but it doesn't look good for LSU and Brian Kelly. And it certainly is a bad look when you're out there making the statements that he's made over the past couple of weeks and then missing out on a guy that's been committed to you for 9 months. It almost feels like he took his eye off the wheel. And look, this just goes to show you that the portal and NIL is crazy. Right now, there is zero ability to stop any of it. And if you're not willing to say, hey, hold on, we're going to match whatever it is that these guys are talking about. If LSU is not willing to do that, that is kind of a sign, because, look, they're hoping to be better on defense. They needed to be better on defense than they were a year ago with the Heisman winner going 9-3 with him. Not having a defensive line is hurting them, and that's a big deal for them. I think they're going to be okay offensively for the most part. They've got a good line. I like, Garrett Nussmeier a lot. They've got more receivers coming in, and look, they've got Duncanville running back. That was a guy that Oklahoma was chasing frantically in top 150 4-star running back prospect out of Duncanville, Caden Durham, who, for all intents and purposes, everybody was expecting him to show up with Taylor Tatum in that class. So they do have some weapons on the offensive side. What are they going to do on the defensive side? And if you're losing your touch on offense now too, what's going on in Baton Rouge? So something's definitely feels like it's awry there. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. But as of right now, Dakorien Moore, again, decommits from the LSU Tigers. We will keep up to date with it and see kind of what happens. Make sure that you've hit that bell button so that you know every time that we come on the air. Definitely, obviously, we've missed a couple of shows this week, but obviously this was big enough to where, I'm headed to work here in just a few minutes, but I wanted to jump in here and talk to everybody about this deal here. Where is that going to leave LSU? And again, this is one of the teams that Oklahoma is definitely going to, you go on the road, play them in your first year in the SEC in the final game of the year. It could mean an awful lot. Having Dominic Williams instead of him. And then, of course, look, who's to say what's going to end up happening when all is said and done? I do believe that LSU is going to be pretty good, but I think there's something going on here with the recruiting. Oklahoma, meanwhile, is getting looks from 2 and maybe even a 3rd 5-star offensive tackle. So we're going to get into that over the next few days as well. Make sure you tune in right here at Hall of Fame College Football with Jason and the Coach and the Sooner Magic podcast to keep up to date on everything that's going on. Guys, thanks a lot for coming in. Let me know what you think. Has Brian Kelly lost his touch, or is LSU running out of that pot of gold that they seem to have down there on the bayou? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Guys, the free way to help the channel is just make sure you hit that like button and become a subscriber if you haven't already done so. Guys, let me know again what you think about the situation down in Baton Rouge, and we'll see you on the next one.